Hey, this is Ellen Fleming, and we are talking about discovering values during the pandemic, and this is part two. So, if you have not done part one or you're not sure what it is we're talking about, go ahead and rewatch that part one and then come back. If you have done part one, good job. Good job sitting with and thinking about all of the things that once were a part of your life that no longer are. And I want to just let you know that it is okay to take a deep breath, and it is okay if you have felt this sadness this week as you've listed all these things and tried to work hard at recognizing all the things that are no longer a part of your life. If you watched it, the week that it was released right before Easter, then I'm sure there was a sense of loss, and different holidays while on lockdown or in a shelter in place are just very different. We've celebrated Easter and a birthday in our house. So we have had a lot of adjustments, and there have been a lot of things that we've had to sit and grieve. And so go ahead and take those deep breaths. Go ahead and continue taking those deep breaths. And really, there are some really cool things that happen when we recognize the areas that we're grieving in. We're able to sit and give words to the things we're grieving. We're able to recognize when a season is ended, but we're also able to see the things that make us who we are. And when we can name those things and shift and still live out of who we're created to be, it is a very beautiful thing. And so that's why I'm doing these videos. I normally just absolutely thrive and enjoy sitting with people one-on-one or in small groups to help them discover values and more of who they're created to be. And that just isn't possible. But I love it so much that I wanted to adjust and make YouTube videos. So welcome to part two. Thank you for engaging in this topic, and I really look forward to a day where we can live out of our best selves, not on lockdown. So let's get started by talking a little bit more about what values aren't, because sometimes it's helpful to know what they aren't as we're on this journey. So first I want to say that values are not morals. So they're not a list of right and wrongs. They're not a standard. They're not principles. So there might be, I do want to give this little caveat though, because when you're living out of who you are created to be, there might be this sense of like rightness where you think, yes, this is who I'm created to be. Those are the moments when you recognize I am living out a value. I am living out who I'm created to be, and I am presenting my best self. And so there is that sense of rightness, but the value does not make it right or wrong or give you a standard of right and wrongness. So hopefully that's clarifying a little bit. I also want to share that values are not tangible. They're intangible things. So when we kind of look at that list that you've created, you may notice that you listed some tangible things, right? I want to bring us on a journey with an example because I think examples are powerful. Hopefully you will not use this example. You will use your own words. I'm very passionate about us using our own words here. But if you're not an essential employee, you may have been furloughed. Your income may look different than it did before. And so perhaps one of the things you listed is money. So money is not a value, but the things that money can bring us and that can help us live out are definitely important things, okay? So typically, if you listed something on your list that's a tangible, there's something underneath that. So how would you discover that? Well, let's think for a moment. I'm just going to come up with things. If I listed money as something that I lost that was significant, I might think about that in terms of what did I lose that is really important to me. So I might think, gosh, fun. I have more fun when I have money. I'm able to take more risks. I'm able to sign up for more adventures. Maybe I travel more when I have money. Maybe I see the world when I have money. Maybe I have a peace of mind. You kind of want to ask yourself those questions. And those are the things that are going to be part of our next assignment. So come with me here on this next assignment. I wrote out a piece of paper. I'd love for you to, whether it's a chalkboard or a dry erase board or just writing on a mirror, whatever that looks like, find a place that you're going to see a lot of in the next week, okay? So I have a lot of kids. They open the fridge a lot. They eat a lot of food. So if I were doing this, I might just literally tape a piece of paper to my fridge to look at, okay? So we're gonna do one example. It's gonna look something like this. So if I were doing that example of money with the intangible, I'd say, okay, fun, freedom, and risk taking might be words that I would pick to that feeling that I have, that sense of, gosh, this is what I really care about. When I have money, I have more fun, I have freedom, I take risks. That is what resonates with me. And so it's not so much about the words. I want to stress this a little bit. It's about the impact that these words have on you when you see them together. So if I look at this and say, yeah, that's it, it's totally okay to look at this and say, that's not quite right, but it's close. It's close. And so you're going to do this maybe like 4 or 5 times. Okay. So you might have a few of them. It might be 3, it might be 4, it might be 2 words, it might be 1 word really. But just look at these things. Okay. And then throughout the week, you might look at this and say, wait a minute, I don't know that it's fun, freedom, and risk taking. I think the word that really resonates with me instead of fun is adventure. I think it's adventure. I don't think it's fun. I think it's adventure. And so then you just kind of cross it out and write it in. Okay. If it's a dry erase board, obviously you can erase it, but you just change the words around. You might notice that you have 2 sets of words and some of those words begin to move together. You might be a mom who has carpool listed on your sense of loss, and you might realize, I never thought I'd write carpool on there. But as you begin to look at the intangibles, maybe there's a sense of like, you can think, like I have whole thoughts. There's something about that cup of coffee that brings something to you. There's a pause, whatever that is. Those are the words you want to write, and you want to write a few of them to look at this week. So your assignment is to cluster and to notice how you feel when you look at these words together. Does that feel like, yes, that resonates with me? So thanks so much for watching this video. If you want to know more about me, you can go to ellenflemingcoaching.com. I would love to hear about how these videos are connecting and resonating with you. And I am looking forward to our next week together. So take those deep breaths and we will see each other soon.